Hello everyone, welcome to the Love in Dubai Daily Live, where we talk about the biggest news stories that everyone in Dubai is talking about. We're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram. As always, I love to hear your comments. We can actually watch the comments on Facebook, so if you have anything you want to share with us about the stories that we're going through, please share them with me so I know I'm talking to someone, I'm not just sitting here alone. We have big stories to get through, so first of all we're going to be talking about the Dubai resident who was blindsided by 12 speeding tickets on one journey. Now, he has a reason for this, he didn't mean it, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're also going to be talking about 100% tax which has been introduced. This came out yesterday evening, but it's to enhance public health and safety, so it's not as bad, it's actually a good thing. And the final story we're going to talk about is the controversial Sheikh Zayed Road billboard. There has been an update on that, so we're going to get to that later. First of all, we're leading in with the Dubai resident who was blindsided. So basically, this could happen to anyone, and it's the most painful message that you could ever see as a driver. A fiance, two guys, they were going down to Abu Dhabi, they came back up a few days later, they got a message with 12 speeding tickets, and that actually adds up to 3,600 dirham, I think, 3,800 dirham worth of fines. In his defense, he basically said he was driving down, he hasn't done the drive, you all know the E11 down to Abu Dhabi, he hasn't done it a long time, but they did it for Eid, and what happened was, back in a year or two ago, there used to be a buffer. There was a buffer grace period, so whatever the speed limit was, you had 20 kilometers extra on top of that. I'm sure you all knew what that was. But basically, he did not realize the buffer was there, so he did his journey. He went 20k above the speed limit, not realizing, and he's been lumped with the fines. And the reason we're sharing this story is not just to talk about it, but basically he wants to share it as just a reminder or a warning message to everyone that in case you missed the news about the buffers being removed back in 2018, it's just a little kind reminder. So he did share the story with love, and he asked us to share it. However, there's been a very mixed reaction in the Facebook comments. Some people were saying it was last year that the authority repeated the news. It was everywhere. There's a buffer speed the buffer has been removed in Abu Dhabi, and also it's our responsibility to know the law of the land. So this Facebook commenter has no he has no mercy, but then others said, look, poor driver, you can imagine his shock. That was just the trip down, and he actually said that he repeated the journey on the way back up, still not knowing about the buffer. So he was hit with a fairly hefty fine. That's like quite a big stint out of anyone's paycheck, and I'm sure. Do you have compassion for this driver? Or do you think that, in all fairness, look, he probably should have known? It was introduced a year ago. There was a lot of talk about it at the time. What do you think? What are your thoughts on it? Basically, I want to say that it was shared as a warning. And like I said, back in 2018, the buffer was introduced. If you see the big red road signs, you're not allowed to go beyond them. It's clear. The speed limit is the speed limit. I think it's 140 kilometers per hour. That's what it should be now. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. That is the first story. Moving on to our second, we're talking about this story was announced yesterday evening by UAE government. In 2017, a tax on cigarettes was introduced, and this law is now being expanded to e-smoking devices and refills. So in 2017, they put a 100%, and everyone's calling it a sin tax. The sin tax was introduced to actually a hugely positive response. Basically, the UAE is trying to reduce consumption of harmful goods. They're trying to prevent chronic diseases linked to sugar and tobacco, and they're trying to help consumers make healthy choices. And I think the third one is really important because I think a 100% tax on these things would make you reconsider purchasing them. So like I said, it's 100% tax on e-smoking devices and refills. They're also putting another 50% tax on sugary, let's just get this right, sugary products with added sugar or sweeteners. Now the image here shows drinks, so it's probably going to be fruit juices, all that stuff that has a lot of added sugar. So making consumers make sensible choices by adding that extra 50% tax, I actually think it would make you reconsider it, because usually I find in a supermarket shop aisle, you have your healthy juices and then you have your sugary juices, and the sugary juices are usually a little bit cheaper. So I feel like that extra tax would make you reconsider, and the effects of like sugary juices, e-cigarettes, I think we're only learning about the effects that they're going to have on us, and we only continue to do so in future. Having that extra tax will make us think about it. But it's just another, I don't think, it came out yesterday, obviously via the UAE government page, which is a super handy Twitter feed if you're ever looking for news directly from the feed. People are always talking about fake news, but if you go to the UAE government Twitter feed, you'll always find direct from the source, which is always good. You always want to make sure it's real news. And then our final story is the controversial billboard. We spoke about this, I think, at the start of August. There was a controversial billboard that came out on Sheikh Zayed Road, and it initially claimed that it could beat, it initially claimed that in 10 days with no medicine, it could beat depression, migraines, and stress. Basically, it got a lot of the medical community talking. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one as well, because there was a really, really mixed reaction. Got a lot of medical community talking because they were saying unscientific claims. How can he claim to do this? This is for a yoga center, by the way. How could he claim to do it within 10 days? Then they said the sign was changed to that it could beat diabetes, arthritis, and back pain. I think you can see it here to my right, in 10 days. And still, there was a lot of talk about it. It's basically what happened was people started talking about it on Twitter. They informed the Ministry of Health and Prevention on Twitter, who quickly responded saying it was not a licensed billboard. So that happened maybe 2 weeks ago, that they realized it wasn't a licensed billboard, and then it was transferred to the authorities, who were able to take it down, and it has been removed. So I will say, like I said, there was a mixed reaction. A lot of people did say for the yoga center itself and for it was the Sanjeev Krishna Yoga Center, that some people have had kind of the word miraculous recoveries was used in that 10-day course. So there is a lot to be said for holistic medicines, but obviously to claim, I think the wording beat and cure these illnesses within 10 days with no medicine was a big claim. So a lot of the medical community requested for the authorities for it to be taken down, and it is taken down. So you won't see it anymore on Sheikh Zayed Road. That is all for the Love in Dubai Daily Live. Later at 3:30 today, we have Lavina Israni, an amazing food blogger in Dubai. She's joining us for the weekly live show. So tune in on Facebook for that, and it'll be live on Instagram tomorrow. Thanks, guys. See you soon.